Hey guys, my name is Jimmy Broadbent and I have been a full-time content creator and streamer over on YouTube for the last 2.5 years. So for those who don't know my content, I'm essentially a racing game content creator, mainly sim racing. So I'll take part in simulated events such as the iRacing 24 Hours of Le Mans, where me and the team will essentially do just that, drive for 24 hours to try and beat the other guys. That's racing, right? Yeah. So I first seriously became involved in content creation for YouTube probably back at the end of 2016, where I was currently unemployed and actually suffering from some mental illness at the time. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to just try and be productive and do something with my day as opposed to just lay in bed, and made a little pact with myself that I would make a video a day just to keep myself occupied. The hardest thing about starting out creating content from YouTube was firstly keeping motivation. Of course, when you first start on any platform doing anything, there are not a lot of eyes on you. I remember doing live streams to about 4 or 5 people right at the very start, and that can be quite disheartening. But I think the idea and the motivation you have to try and carry forward is that if you keep doing it, then maybe one of those 5 people will come back, and then maybe 2 of the 5 people will come back, and just keep making the progress and not really aim to be a hit straight away. My advice to people just starting off would be to make sure you're enjoying your time when you're making videos and streaming. I think a lot of people don't understand the amount of time and effort that goes into actually making a video or streaming for 4 or 5 hours, especially if it's something to do with the racing. It's actually quite physically demanding, especially with this direct drive wheel here. So make sure you're enjoying what you do. If you're doing it just to make money or just to become a influencer or whatever the hell you want to call it, then you probably won't get very far. It's got to be a passion project. So I have 2 YouTubers who serve as my main inspiration for my channel. One of them is a fella named Empty Box, who used to be the go-to guy for sim racing about 4 or 5 years ago. I haven't seen much content from him recently, which is a real shame because I always used to really enjoy his videos. And the other person's a little bit unlikely. It's a fella named Chugga Conroy who does Nintendo Let's Plays. He's got a hell of a lot of subscribers doing it. And I always just loved his enthusiasm and passion for the games he was playing, and I wanted to try and infuse my videos with some of that. So I'd say they're probably my 2 main influences. I think if you ask anyone that question, who does YouTube or Twitch or whatever, if they think they'll ever get to do it full time, they'd all probably say no. It's one of those really I wouldn't say accidents because you kind of work towards it, but it's a very happy thing when you sit there and realize, wait a minute, I can do this as a job now, because the reality of it is that I'm my own boss. I can start and end whenever I like. Of course, I do have some guidelines to stay to, otherwise you end up just not making anything. And the absolute pleasure and the honor to get to do something you enjoy every day, it makes waking up. I used to have a job as like a phone salesman a long time ago. I had to wake up dreading going to work. Now I wake up and I just can't wait to get started. I'm very lucky. I am one of those weird people. I don't really like setting goals, especially for YouTube, because I like to kind of live in the moment and enjoy what I have now. As I've said before, I'm very fortunate to be in this position where I get to have the opportunity to interact with so many unique and interesting people in my streams and through YouTube and the comments, through my Discord server, whatever. So I'm really happy just to be in that position. If the channel died tomorrow, which is always a possibility on YouTube, then I'll be happy for the time that I've had. So really, I'm just happy to stay where I am and continue having this great experience. But if I had to pick something that I was aiming for, I would love to get into a real-life racing series. Of course, it's all well and good doing the pretend racing at home in the comfort of your bedroom or wherever you have your rig. But I'd love to go do it for real. There's no substitution for the real thing. What do I do in my free time? You know, I'm going to give you a very sad answer and say usually I sit and watch stuff to do with motorsport. I am a die-hard motorsport enthusiast. You kind of have to be to to be a sim racer. I love watching motorsport. I also like playing kind of more casual games. I've been really into Mario Maker recently, despite being terrible at it. And if I have the opportunity, I love to go and drive one of my cars around. I'm very fortunate to own a couple of cars that I really enjoy. I have a R32 GTR, I have a 350Z, and a little Mazda with a big turbo in it. So if I have any time, I love to spend some time just like fettling on the cars and making sure everything's as it should be. Either that or just the old-fashioned go out and get drunk with friends. That's always fun. YouTube has 100% opened doors for me that I wouldn't think would ever be possible. As well as being I guess a sim racing YouTuber, I'm also a bit of a commentator. I love doing commentary for races, and I've also been a sim racing commentator for about as long as I've been a sim racer YouTuber. And I recently, as in last year, had the opportunity to go and do some commentary for Gran Turismo over at the Nürburgring, which then evolved into me being one of the official commentators for that FIA GT Sport World Tour events, which is absolutely a massive honour. And to see myself doing that is very strange, because there's so much production around it, and you're standing up there with your shirt and your mic and your in-ear headphones there. It's a very weird sensation for someone who came from essentially just shouting at a webcam in a shed a couple of years ago, but I'm very grateful that I've had those opportunities. Also, I've had the opportunity to drive real racing cars. I've driven a McLaren 570S GT4 car and an Audi TCR car, both of which were just incredible fun. And when you're in there driving the car, you can't help but have a massive grin on your face the entire time, because I know I've said it already, but just being a massive racing nerd and enthusiast, getting the opportunity to actually go and do it in real life, it's one of those life-changing experiences that I'm definitely not going to forget. Once again, my name is Jimmy Broadbent, and if you want to see more of my content, you can check it out in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.